Syss and Matalino had teamed together for yet another invention, but it was no time machine. The time it took to build was no more than a week, and Syss wasn't planning to use it for only herself. It was also for a friend, whom Syss ordered everyone to report any concerns about. Zim did not mind having small talk with his fellow Urkins as he did his time as a service drone, but there were 3 instances in which he froze during conversation and stopped responding. Former Invader 10 had simply asked what his favorite color was. After answering that it was red, Zim continued mopping the floor, brow furrowed in discomfort as he went quiet. Talking with Zim had gone well for former Invader Z, up until they made eye contact. Zim complimented Z's eye color before again going quiet. Fast food drone Plugi mentioned that he sometimes still expects nacho orders from Tallest Red and Purple every week, and that it was strange to now get nothing from them. Zim whimpered in response before again going quiet. Syss knew what these reports had in common, and she hoped her plan for it would help.
"How long will this break be, my Empress?"
Zim nervously asked her, stepping into the elevator she stood in before it could leave without him. "As long as it takes," Syss said, almost sternly, as the elevator ascended with her and Zim standing beside each other.
But the longer these breaks are, the more held back my time is,"
Zim said, his feet dancing in place.
"I want this job to be done right when it's supposed to be. 2 more months. 2 more months. Not 1 day after that. My planet, the rectification."
"Calm down, my little soldier. Eros and I have been monitoring Earth for you. It isn't in danger."
"But... all right."
"I can cut down your time very easily, you know."
No, I must do this. It's what you said. 3 months as a service drone. It's what everyone expects."
"Very well, but you still need breaks."
"What is it you want to show me in the tower, my Empress? You look afraid."
"Do I? I'm sorry." Syss swallowed. "It's nothing bad. Depending on how you define bad. It's just that... Zim, I need you to brace yourself. What you will see in a moment may shock you, but I promise it's okay."
"You're afraid of my reaction?"
Zim stated. He stood up straight and smiled.
"There's no need to be. Zim can handle this, especially if it isn't bad."
"I think personal was the word I was looking for," Syss said, as the elevator finally opened its door to show her and Zim the 15th floor. As they both stepped in, Zim's smile faltered as he began to process the sight in front of him, casually at first. Many wires all over the walls, nothing unusual. And ahead of him stood a Vortian in a scientist uniform, a Vortian Zim knew as Matalino, waving shyly at him with a screwdriver still in his fingers. Zim was 1 breath away from greeting the Vortian when he noticed the 2 objects he was standing in between. Zim gasped in terror and staggered a few feet backwards. Then he was frozen again. Syss and Matalino both winced in anticipation. No words were spoken for the next 18 seconds. Zim managed to speak, though he still stood unmoving, wide-eyed.
"Are those... No, those aren't their packs."
"Reds and purples. Yes," Syss gravely confirmed, stepping closer to the scene. Zim too stepped closer, but a lot more timidly. 2 equally large packs mounted on the walls. The top door of one pack was black, and the top door of the other purple. Zim would have recognized these packs quicker if it weren't for the cables being hooked into the side doors, if it wasn't for the moderately burned and battered state that Zim knew was his doing, and if he was seeing the packs with their owners' bodies, just like he always had before. Memories were triggered right then, calling Tallest Red and Purple on the computer to sometimes find one or both of them having their backs turned as they demanded beverages and comfort food from a service drone, with their familiar voices full of boredom and annoyance. The last time Zim saw these packs attached to their owners, he had been seconds away from killing those owners in cold blood, which he did. He hadn't seen the packs after that. How were they found and recovered? How were they here? Zim had many questions like this, but his mouth could only work to form one.
What are you doing with them?
Matalino looked to Syss. The Empress gave a solemn nod, and Matalino presented to Zim some sort of helmet that could cover one's eyes as well as the head, but with openings for the antennae. Syss said calmly, "Put this on, Zim, and you get to hear them again." Zim spun around to look at her frantically.
What? No! How?
He looked back to the helmet, then the packs of his former leaders, looking more agitated than when he saw them upon arrival.
It's a simulation,
Matalino explained.
They're still gone, they're not actually here. But the fakes you'll hear will contain their information. Their personalities, their memories, even their very last memory. With you. So the term probably isn't fakes, more like virtual copies.
Except they no longer have Marbog's code, Syss said, placing a hand on Zim's right shoulder. This simulation will show you how you could have interacted with them, alive and downgraded like the rest of us. Zim was intimidated, yet grateful. During another moment of quiet, Zim carefully took the helmet, which he realized was one of the things connected with the packs. He stared at it.
You built this for Zim? It was easy,
Matalino said, failing to hold back the mildly boastful tone.
Thank you. But I don't think...
Zim trembled a bit, looking to the packs yet again. It's safe, Syss assured. I tested it myself. Zim glanced at her in awe.
You've talked to them?
Syss nodded, her expression dismal. She may have been recalling her own experience with a simulator, though Zim could not determine whether or not it went well. Zim's gaze hardened. Then, without another thought, he placed the helmet over his head. Darkness and silence greeted Zim, his vision reduced to a void of pitch-black emptiness. But was it nothingness, he wondered? Perhaps the machine was now bugged and could only work one time, which was for Syss. Or perhaps Zim had to make a move, or a sound.
My tallest?
He stammered, the title name getting snagged on his tongue at first. It was a surreal feeling, trying to talk to Urkins who were dead, let alone Urkins he had an unpleasant history with. He was met with no answer, and was beginning to wonder if the machine really had decided not to work for him. Or maybe he was being ignored by something else. Someone else. Sorrowfully, Zim tried again.
Hello? Please? Please speak to me. Please. It's been so long. It's been so long. And I want to know. I want to hear your say in what you've missed, and in what I did. Even if it's cruel. I just want to know. Please, please. My tallest. My tallest.
Breathe, Zim.
Purple.
Zim inhaled sharply at the new voice. A soft, familiar voice, only faintly distorted by the computer holding the simulation together. To his amazement, the voice answered him again, quietly. Yeah, and just purple. All right, we're not your tallest anymore. You know that. Zim almost could not process the meaning behind the words, his mind too busy getting accustomed to the sound alone. 3.5 years was such a short time, yet so long, and the memories of hearing this voice out loud were being refreshed. Zim stuttered with a mix of dismay and relief.
You! It's you! And...
Yeah, me too. Just read. That was the second voice Zim had been anticipating. He suddenly felt dizzy.
No.
He fell to his knees and hung his head in anguish, whimpering louder.
No.
I said breathe, Purple's voice urged. Look, I know this is weird, Zim, but just don't panic. Zim's own voice came out brittle as he fought back tears and snorted.
I killed you. I actually killed you. I killed so many of our leaders now, and for once, on purpose. I finally realized after that how everyone saw me. How being a murderer to my own people was truly supposed to feel. Disgusting. Devastating.
Purple responded casually yet soothingly. Well, it's not like the two of us were any better. Then came Red's voice again.
The blame is on all of us, really. Nothing we can do about it now.
Except claw desperately for closure and do the closest thing to bringing you back to life.
Zim said through bared teeth as the tears gave.
Yeah, well, I hope it works for you, soldier.
Red said in a sympathetic tone Zim had never heard from him before. It struck him as heavily as the word soldier. It let Zim know that there were no hard feelings. I want a snack, Purple said. I wonder if there's lots of those where the real us are.
Of course there is. There's got to be.
Red replied, quietly and glumly. Red and Purple were craving food, their favorite thing in life, but there was no possible way to feed them anything. They could never eat another bite. This made Zim feel as if he was injected with a fluid form of guilt. He felt a sensation throughout his body that made him feel physically ill. What also struck him in this way was the subtle mention of the original Red and Purple being in some sort of afterlife. Zim broke down crying softly. Red and Purple seemed taken aback by this, quiet for over a dozen seconds. Red said gently, with nothing else following after.
Zim.
I'm...
Knowing of Zim's current struggle to speak, Red cut in.
Yeah, we know. We're sorry too.
Zim then broke out of the struggle and threw his head back up, almost howling his grief.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, God. No! I was right about how you would have transformed. No, no, no. What have I done? I wish you were here.
Hey, listen. It's fine. It was nice while it lasted, but you really don't need us out there.
Purple chimed in. We wouldn't have been jerks to everyone anymore, sure. But we're not like you, Zim. You're working hard for your redemption, just like how you work hard for everything. The two of us? All we'd have is the motivation to pig out. Our fight died out a long time ago. We've mostly just been watching everyone else fight. Red added.
And actually, that new generation wouldn't exist with us still being there. So Zim, you kind of did the universe a favor.
No!
Zim snapped.
I hate that I killed you, don't you understand? I hate it! I want you here! I don't care how you were before. You didn't deserve to die. I could have spared you, and Syss could have still taken over with you alive.
It wouldn't have worked like that, buddy.
Red regrettably said. We would have still been the tallest, Purple said.
Syss isn't even close to being the tallest. How did she say that happened?
Red's tone changed to a perplexed, conversational one as he spoke with his partner, who spoke in the same manner. How she was... Oh wait, they voted. Is that what she said?
I can't remember for the copy life of me. It was such a long story. We talked to her for like 5 hours, right?
7. Zim interjected, though his own tone hadn't changed.
We changed the rules, guys. We decided to give up the belief that Urkins are more deserving with the more great their height is. So we made tallest metaphorical. Syss eventually changed that as well after she was elected. Simplified it to Empress.
In unison, the two invisible Urkins voiced their recollection.
Nice.
Then, resuming the previous discussion and the serious demeanor, Red said to Zim,
Anyway, what's done is done. Sacrifices had to be made, alright? And the one you did was somewhat necessary. Can't say the same for some of our sacrifices.
Zim whimpered and snorted again after replying,
I know it's done. I wish it hadn't been done. I was so angry. After Gur and Minnie Moose, I couldn't hold back anymore.
We hurt you a lot, yeah, Purple gravely admitted. We hurt a lot of Virkins we hated. We just didn't care. Guessing we handled Marbog's code the worst, huh?
What about now?
Zim shakily asked.
Well, now
Red paused, then answered sincerely.
we're sorry. You're okay, Zim.
Yeah, Purple said. Don't know if we could have been your best buddies or anything like that, though. With all that's happened.
Zim believes it could have been possible.
Zim croaked.
Yeah,
Red said in humorous defeat.
I did already call you buddy a minute ago, didn't I?
And you're really okay with... You really forgive me?
Yeah. Look, it could have been worse. And from what Empress Syss told us, things are going in a peaceful direction. Enjoy that, alright?
You get out there and tackle that real mission of yours, Purple softly encouraged. Make sure whatever or whoever comes after your planet gets their butts kicked. Zim bowed his head again, but in respect.
Will do. Yes.
And one other thing.
Red said. Zim looked up, faintly uttering,
Huh?
Red and Purple wholeheartedly ordered in unison.
Don't get killed.
Zim blinked in honor and surprise. Finding solace in this simulation like Syss wanted him to, he smiled through another flow of tears, whimpering again, though happily this time.
Thank you, my tallest.
You know our names. Use them.
Red said sternly.
Thank you, Red, Purple. I'm sorry once again. I really miss you.
Don't miss us too much.
You have Syss now, Purple said softly. She's better at this than we were. Just treat her good. She really cares. A lot. I can tell she makes a fine empress. And a fine friend.
She does.
Zim agreed.
I'd pat your head if I still had arms.
Red commented before concluding with what Zim assumed would have been a kind, brotherly smile.
Farewell, Zim.
Zim returned as he brought both hands to the helmet over his head.
Farewell, my friends.